All right, so buckle up, folks, because right now we're smack dab in the middle of something pretty major, and yeah, you guessed it, you're a part of it, whether you realize it or not.
It's true.
We're talking about this very specific, this very uh, potent window in the lunar cycle. It's between March 17th and the 22nd. And, well, this isn't just the moon doing its usual rounds.
No, not at all.
According to, well, Grace Harris, she's an energy practitioner, she's saying that this is like a powerful energetic threshold. And get this, it's actively influencing, shaping how aware you are, your emotions, even your spiritual path, like how you're moving forward on your journey.
Yeah, you know, what's really interesting to me is this idea of convergence that she keeps bringing up. She's highlighting, emphasizing this time as being super critical, like a make or break moment for finding your center, for letting go of anything that's not doing you any favors, and for getting ready, preparing yourself for what she calls a major, like a huge shift on the planet.
Right, so it's not just about you, it's about all of us.
Exactly, yeah. It really points to this period that's just brimming, overflowing with potential energy. Like things are about to change in a big way.
So think about this. Have you been feeling a little, well, I don't know, off lately? Maybe your moods are all over the place, your emotions are in overdrive, you're having these crazy vivid dreams, or you're getting these sudden aha moments out of nowhere, like a light bulb just went off.
That's the energy for sure.
Well, guess what? Apparently, you're probably feeling the ripple effects of this whole cosmic event that we're talking about. And listen to this, because this is important. If you ignore this energetic call, this like knock on your door from the universe, you might be missing out on a really powerful chance to, well, to kind of realign yourself, to get back on track with where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah, it's like missing the train, the cosmic train.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving deep into today.
What does it all mean?
What does this specific moment in time in the cosmos mean for you? And it all comes down to the current lunar energy, where the moon is at right now in its cycle.
So if we zoom out for a second, look at the bigger picture of lunar cycles, the moon going through its phases. What we're dealing with here between March 17th and 22nd is something called a lunar portal.
A lunar portal. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's more than just, a regular astronomical event, the moon doing its thing. It's like a blending, a merging of the energy, the imprint left by the recent full moon that was back on March 13th, with the incoming energy, the vibes of the third quarter phase. It's like two powerful currents coming together.
So it's not just another day on the calendar. It's
It's an opening.
an opening, a portal, a doorway to, well, they're calling it a vibrational recalibration. Okay, hold on, back up. What exactly does that even mean?
It's a little like, imagine, you've got a musical instrument that's out of tune and you need to retune it, get it back to its perfect pitch. That's kind of the essence here. It's like a returning of our own energetic frequencies, our own personal vibrations.
So we're all like instruments out of tune.
In a way, yeah. And this portal's the tuning fork. And get this, it's happening on two levels. It's personal for each of us individually, and it's also happening on a much larger scale, like a planetary level. It's a big deal.
So it's like the whole planet is getting retuned.
Exactly. And we're transitioning, moving from that amplified, supercharged energy of the full moon, remember that was March 13th, into a phase that's all about purification. It's like a cleansing, a clearing out.
Okay, so purification. Let's talk about that. What does purification really mean in this context? Like, how do we purify ourselves, our energy?
Well, the sources I've been looking at, they describe it as a cosmic checkpoint. It's like the universe is giving us a gentle nudge, asking, are you still carrying around all that baggage? Are you ready to finally let go of what's been holding you back, what's been preventing you from reaching your full potential?
So it's like a cosmic weigh-in, and we need to shed some pounds.
Exactly. And during this portal, during this time between March 17th and 22nd, you might notice a whole bunch of different things happening. You might notice some positive changes. Your intuition could be super sharp. You might start seeing more meaningful coincidences, things lining up in your life and your emotions. You might actually understand them better, see them more clearly.
Right, but I have a feeling it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Well, yeah, there's the other side of the coin, too. You could also hit some bumps in the road. Old hurts, things you thought you dealt with might resurface, relationships could get a little rocky, and you might find yourself wrestling with some big, heavy questions about your future, about where you're headed.
It sounds intense.
It can be, but here's the thing. It's all framed as a divinely orchestrated process. That means that even the tough stuff, the challenges, they're not happening for no reason. They're part of a bigger plan, a design for your growth, for your spiritual evolution.
So even the bad stuff is good, in a way.
It's about bringing things to the surface so you can heal them, so you can move forward.
Okay, so how do we navigate this lunar portal? What's the best way to move through this time with all its ups and downs?
The advice is pretty straightforward, actually. First, pay attention. Just observe what's happening inside you and what's happening around you. But don't jump to react. Don't get swept up in the emotions. Just observe.
So be mindful.
Yeah, exactly. And second, make time. Create space for practices that nourish your inner world. Meditation, quiet reflection, journaling, things like that. Anything that helps you connect with yourself on a deeper level.
So nurture your soul.
Exactly. And third, this is a big one, pay close attention to the subtle signs, the messages you're receiving. Maybe there's a certain number you keep seeing everywhere, recurring symbols that pop up, themes that keep showing up in your dreams. These aren't random, they're meaningful, they're clues, they're little whispers from, well, they call it cosmic intelligence, the universe trying to guide you.
So pay attention to the whispers.
Exactly. By being present, being aware, you're basically tuning yourself into the right frequency, the frequency of this lunar portal, and that allows those messages to come through loud and clear.
Okay, so we're being mindful, nurturing our soul, paying attention to the whispers. Now, let's backtrack for a minute, rewind to that full moon on March 13th. That seems like a pretty key piece of the puzzle here. They're calling it the culmination of karmic cycles.
Oh, okay.
Break that down for me. What does that even mean? What kind of karmic patterns, what kind of baggage might have come up during that full moon?
Well, think about it. Are there any recurring themes in your relationships? Maybe challenges you keep bumping up against, habits you just can't seem to break?
I'm sure we can all relate to that.
Right. The full moon, they describe it as this peak, this climax in our spiritual journey. It's a time when hidden truths come out into the open, when everything gets magnified, amplified, especially our emotions, like someone turned up the volume on our inner world. And that includes our subconscious mind, all the stuff we're not even aware of.
So this wasn't your average full moon, huh?
Definitely not. It was like a supercharged full moon with this added layer of completion energy. And that basically forced, encouraged anything that was unresolved, any karmic patterns that were still hanging around to come up to the surface to make themselves known. So yeah, if you were feeling extra anxious, couldn't sleep, or your emotions were all over the place, that was probably tied into this energy.
Makes sense. So it was like the moon was shaking things up, rattling our cages a bit.
In a way, yeah, it was a way of getting our attention, giving us a clear picture of what needed work, what we needed to acknowledge, maybe even forgive, and ultimately what needed healing. And, any conflicts that came up, any intense emotions, those are like reflections, like looking at a cosmic mirror. It was showing us those deep lessons, the things we were finally ready to confront.
So it was tough, but it was necessary.
Exactly. But it wasn't all doom and gloom, right? There was also this other side to the full moon. It was a time when our intuition got a major boost. People were having incredibly vivid dreams, getting strong gut feelings, experiencing these sudden bursts of clarity, like epiphanies. It was like this dormant wisdom inside us. It was being woken up, activated, and it was telling us, hey, pay attention, wake up.
Right, so it was like a wake-up call.
Exactly. The lunar energy during the full moon, it was like a spiritual flashlight, shining a light not just on the shadows, the unresolved issues, but also giving us glimpses of the path forward, hinting at the direction we might need to go in.
Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. Did you listen? Were you paying attention to those signs, those messages? Because awareness, that's just the first step. Now we have to do something with it.
Right. The real work begins now. Now we have to integrate those insights, take what we've learned and actually put it into practice, prepare for conscious action. And this is where this third quarter phase comes in. The phase we're in right now, leading up to March 22nd.
So this is where the rubber meets the road.
Absolutely. This is the sacred phase of release and realignment, they call it. As the moon transitions into its third quarter, it becomes all about actively letting go of what's no longer serving us, shedding those old energy patterns, creating space for something new.
So the full moon was about illumination, seeing things clearly.
And the third quarter is about letting them go. It's about dissolving those things that are holding us back.
Like a cosmic decluttering.
Exactly. A spiritual spring cleaning. You can't bring in the new if you're still holding on to the old, right?
That's like trying to fit new clothes into an already overflowing closet.
Perfect analogy. And they actually call it an energetic detox, this third quarter phase. It's like your body, your mind, your spirit, they're all going through a deep cleanse.
So what does that look like in our daily lives? What kind of changes might we notice?
Well, you might suddenly feel this urge to clean your house, get rid of clutter, reorganize things. You might want to change your habits. Maybe you're eating differently, exercising more. You might even feel the need to create some distance from certain people or situations that aren't good for you anymore.
So it's not just about our inner world, it's about our outer world too.
It's all connected. And it's not just random, these urges. It's your body, your whole being, responding to this change in energy, this shift in frequency.
And what if we resist?
Hmm.
What if we try to hold on to those things, those people, those patterns that we know we need to let go of?
Well, they say that resisting this natural process can leave you feeling weighed down, heavy, stuck. It's like swimming against the current. It's exhausting.
So it's better to go with the flow.
Exactly. Surrender to the process. And this third quarter phase, it's all about making choices. It's a turning point where the universe is asking you, what are you ready to let go of? What are you truly done with? You have to choose. You can stay stuck in the old patterns, or you can embrace the wisdom you gained from the full moon, the insights you received, and move forward.
So it's a time for making conscious choices.
Absolutely. And they say that rituals can be really helpful during this time. Simple things like writing down what you want to let go of and burning the paper, doing a guided meditation for cutting energetic cords, or just setting a clear intention to release limiting beliefs.
It's about actively participating in the process.
Right. The lighter you are, energetically speaking, the easier it will be to align with the new energies coming in as the moon continues its cycle. It's like making space for the good stuff.
So we've talked a lot about the moon. We all know it affects the tides, but apparently it's much more than just a big rock in the sky. They're calling it a powerful energetic amplifier. Okay, help me understand that. What does that mean for us down here on Earth?
Well, think of it this way. The moon doesn't just passively reflect the sun's light. It has its own energy, its own field, and it interacts with our energy, our consciousness, even our emotions. Some even say it influences our DNA, how our genes express themselves.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So it's like the moon is constantly sending us these subtle messages.
Exactly. And science is starting to catch up with this ancient wisdom. We know that the moon's gravity affects the tides, and there's growing evidence that it influences our sleep cycles too. But it goes deeper than that. It interacts with our own electromagnetic field, the energy field that surrounds our bodies.
Right. And apparently, during certain lunar phases, like the full moon and this transition into the third quarter that we're in, our pineal gland, that little gland in our brain, it becomes more receptive to higher frequencies, to more subtle energy.
And the pineal gland, it's often called the spiritual gateway of perception, the seat of our soul, our intuition. So when it's activated, we can tap into those deeper levels of awareness. And it makes sense, right? The pineal gland produces melatonin, which regulates our sleep cycles. So there's a direct connection to the moon's rhythms.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
And that's probably why a lot of people report feeling more intuitive, having those vivid dreams, and even having emotional releases during these lunar transitions. It's like the moon is stirring things up inside us.
Exactly. And it's not just our emotions, the moon's gravity, they say. It also interacts with our subtle energy body, our aura. It's like a gentle wave that can bring up and amplify any stagnant energy, any emotional baggage we're holding on to.
So it's like a cosmic energy cleanse.
In a way, yeah. And get this, some even say that lunar phases act as triggers, activation points for what they call our dormant DNA. We only use a small percentage of our DNA, and there's this idea that the rest of it, it holds ancient wisdom potential that we haven't tapped into yet.
So the moon is like a key, unlocking our hidden potential.
Exactly. There are even ancient texts that suggest the moon might be a kind of keeper of this forgotten wisdom, and that its cycles are directly linked to our genetic memory, our spiritual evolution.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. So we're talking about a connection that goes way back to the very origins of humanity.
It seems so. And they say that we can actively participate in this process, this lunar synchronization, by being aware of the moon's phases, by setting intentions during the full moon, and consciously engaging in releasing practices during the third quarter. We can enhance our body's natural ability to integrate these subtle cosmic energies.
So it's about working with the moon's rhythms, not against them.
Exactly. It's about aligning ourselves with these natural cycles, tapping into this ancient wisdom. And in doing so, we open ourselves up to new levels of awareness, a deeper connection to ourselves and the universe.
So we talked about lunar energy. Now, what about the sun? We often hear about solar energy. How does that fit into all of this?
Yeah.
They seem like opposing forces, right? The sun and the moon.
Well, they're often seen as opposites, yes, but they're
Mm.
also complementary. Like, the classic yin and yang symbol, they need each other to
All
exist.
right, they create balance.
Exactly. The sun represents our conscious mind, our will, our vitality, that outward active energy. The yang. The moon represents our intuition, our emotions, our receptive inward energy. The yin.
So they're both essential.
Absolutely. And when they come into specific alignments, like what's happening right now, it creates these unique energetic conditions that affect us both individually and collectively. And apparently, this alignment between March 17th and 22nd is all about preparing us for an inner retuning, a kind of recalibration of our energy
So
systems.
it's like a cosmic tune-up.
Exactly. And they say that the sun's solar activity, all those solar flares and stuff, it's actually energizing the Earth's electromagnetic field, while the moon's gravitational pull is helping to realign our own personal energy fields. And they say this interplay, this dance between the sun and the moon, it's really important for how we integrate these incoming energies, these higher frequencies that are coming to the planet.
They call them ascension energies.
Right. And that's a whole other deep dive. But the point is, this is a time of preparation.
So during this time, during this solar and lunar
Mm.
synchronization, what are we likely to experience personally? I mean, how will we feel this?
Well, they say you might experience some inner conflict, some push and pull between your head and your heart, like logic versus emotion, wanting structure versus wanting to go with the flow, feeling the need to take action versus feeling the need to surrender.
Sounds familiar.
Right. It's part of the human experience. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's an opportunity to bring those seemingly opposite forces into harmony, to find balance within ourselves.
So it's about finding that middle ground.
Exactly. But they say that if you resist this shift, if you try to fight it, you might experience mood swings, feel scattered, or just plain exhausted. It's like your body is trying to adjust to these new frequencies, and it takes energy.
So it's important to be gentle with ourselves during this time.
Absolutely. Listen to your body. Rest when you need to. And they also say that it's helpful to engage in practices that honor both the solar and lunar energies. So spend some time in the sun, let it energize you, clear your head, and then also make time for quiet reflection, maybe meditate under the moonlight, connect with your emotions.
So it's about balance.
Exactly. When those two forces are in harmony within us, that's when we can truly shine, when our soul can operate at its full potential.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty now. Let's talk specifics. We're
Right.
talking about March 17th to 22nd.
Uh-huh.
What exactly is happening during this window?
Well, they say that there's a significant energy shift that begins right around March 17th. It's like we're crossing a threshold, a frequency threshold. The energy is getting more intense.
More intense in what way?
It's subtle, but it's like the energy currents, the vibrations, they're amping up. And it's preparing us, preparing the collective for the final stage of this lunar cycle. And it's also said to be a time of heightened awareness, where it's easier to connect with our intuition, to receive guidance from higher realms.
It's like the veil is thinning.
Exactly. And if you're sensitive to energy, you might really feel this. You might feel the need to withdraw a bit, to be more introspective. You might be more sensitive to sounds and lights, or you might just have this deep knowing, this feeling that something big is shifting.
So trust your gut.
Absolutely. And they say that March 17th is an important day for setting intentions. But it's not like a new moon where you're starting fresh, planting new seeds. It's more about clarifying your path, making sure you're still on track with your goals, with your soul's purpose.
So it's a time for checking in, reassessing.
Exactly. And the key question to ask yourself is, what do I need to let go of before the next lunar phase begins? Because the clearer you are about what needs to go, the smoother this transition will be.
It's about clearing the path.
Exactly. And it's also important to listen to your body during this time. It'll tell you what it needs. Maybe you need more rest. Maybe you need to drink more water. Maybe you need to spend more time in nature. Listen to those cues. Your body is wise.
Our bodies are always talking to us. We just need to listen.
Exactly. And speaking of cleansing, there's this concept of cosmic detox that they talk about, which supposedly happens in the days leading up to March 22nd. It's like our bodies and minds are naturally purging, getting rid of anything that's not serving us, preparing for the next level.
So it's a deep cleanse on all levels.
Exactly. And it can manifest in different ways. You might feel the need to clean your house, get rid of clutter, eat healthier foods. Maybe you have some emotional releases, cry a lot, or you might have old memories resurface.
So it can get messy.
It can, but it's all part of the process. It's your system making space for those new, higher frequencies that are coming in.
And it's not just physical and emotional. They say there's also a mental detox happening.
Right. You might start questioning your beliefs, the stories you tell yourself. You might feel the need to let go of limiting thoughts, negative self-talk. And all of that can lead to greater mental clarity, a sense of peace.
So it's a mental spring cleaning.
Exactly. And on a spiritual level, you might feel the need to disconnect from the world a little bit, to be more introspective, to spend more time in nature.
So it's about going inward.
Exactly. Connecting with your higher self, your soul. And they say the lighter you are, energetically speaking, the easier it will be to move through this lunar portal, this transition.
So detox on all levels. Okay, now this next concept is a little trippy. They're talking about how the moon can affect our perception of time, even how we create our reality.
Yeah, it's a mind bender, for sure. The idea is that the moon doesn't just track time, it influences it, it bends it, and each phase of the moon has its own energetic signature that affects how we experience time, how we process events, how we manifest our desires.
So it's like the moon is a cosmic timekeeper.
Exactly. And during the full moon, leading up to March 17th, you might have felt like time was speeding up, everything was happening so fast, emotions were intense, and reality itself felt more, well, more real, more amplified.
It's like everything was in overdrive.
Exactly. But now, as we move into the third quarter towards March 22nd, things might start to feel like they're slowing down. You might feel more contemplative, more introspective, and that's a good thing. It's an opportunity to integrate the lessons from the full moon, to make course corrections, to refine your understanding of yourself and your path.
So it's a time for reflection, for going deeper.
Exactly. And it's also a time when our manifesting power is heightened. Because the moon is amplifying our thoughts, our intentions, what we focus on is more likely to materialize. So be mindful of where your energy is going. What are you focusing on?
So choose your thoughts wisely.
Absolutely. This is a time for conscious creation. What you think about, what you feel, it's shaping your reality, especially during these lunar transitions.
Okay, now they're talking about this concept of lunar alchemy. What's that all about?
It's a fascinating idea. It's basically the ancient practice of working with the moon's cycles to transform yourself, to evolve spiritually. They saw each phase of the moon as having a specific energy, a specific quality that you could tap into.
So it's like harnessing the moon's power for personal growth.
Exactly. And they say that this time, between March 17th and 22nd, is especially potent for this kind of work. By consciously aligning with the moon's phases, they say you can accelerate your growth, experience more synchronicities, and gain deeper spiritual insights.
So it's like a fast track to enlightenment.
Well, maybe not that fast, but it definitely can speed things up. And there are specific rituals and practices you can do to enhance this lunar alchemy. Things like setting intentions under the moonlight, doing water ceremonies, using crystals that resonate with lunar energy.
So it's about working with the moon's energy in a deliberate way.
Exactly. And the key is to flow with the cycles, not resist them, to be in harmony with those natural rhythms. That's how you tap into the magic, the power of lunar alchemy.
It's like dancing with the moon.
I like that. And it can bring so much grace and ease into your life, into your journey.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. They're also talking about the divine feminine awakening happening right now. And of course, the moon is a symbol of the feminine, so how does that tie into this lunar cycle?
Well, the moon represents those qualities that are traditionally associated with the feminine. Intuition, emotion, nurturing, the cyclical nature of life. And this particular lunar cycle, this transition between March 17th and 22nd, it's like a recalibration of those energies. It's like the feminine is rising, becoming more prominent.
But it's not just about gender, right? It's about balance.
Exactly. We all have both masculine and feminine energies within us. And for a long time, the masculine has been dominant in our culture. So this is about restoring balance, bringing those feminine qualities back into harmony.
So men need this too, not just women.
Absolutely. It's about wholeness, about integrating all parts of ourselves. And they say that resisting this shift, this rise of the feminine, can create a lot of inner turmoil, a lot of emotional upheaval. It's like those suppressed energies are demanding to be acknowledged, to be integrated.
So it's about embracing both sides.
Exactly. And one of the beautiful things about this awakening of the feminine is that it's opening our hearts, making us more compassionate, more empathetic, more connected to each other and to the earth.
It's about love.
Yes, it's about love, and it's also about intuition, about trusting our gut feelings, our inner wisdom. The
Hmm.
moon is guiding us, reminding us to listen to our hearts, to reconnect with our true nature.
So what are some practical ways we can align with this feminine energy?
Well, anything that nourishes your soul, that helps you connect with your heart, meditation, spending time in nature, creative expression, being kind to yourself and others, it's about slowing down, tuning in, listening to the whispers of your soul.
So it's about being gentle, being receptive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they say that during this time, we have the opportunity to unlock what they call celestial codes, which can accelerate our evolution, help us reach our full potential.
Celestial codes. Okay, that sounds pretty out there. What are those?
Well, the idea is that the moon isn't just a random object in the sky. It's like a cosmic blueprint, a perfect expression of sacred geometry. Its orbit, its size, its distance from Earth, it all follows these precise mathematical ratios, like the golden mean and the Fibonacci sequence.
So it's like the moon is a code, a message from the universe.
Exactly. And these ratios, these geometric patterns, they're not just random. They're found throughout nature in the spiral of a seashell, the arrangement of petals in a flower, the structure of a human body. It's a universal language, and the moon is speaking it.
So the moon is a teacher.
Yes. And they say that by attuning ourselves to the moon's frequencies, we can unlock these codes, activate this ancient wisdom within us. And during this time, between March 17th and 22nd, this connection is amplified. It's easier to tap into.
So how do we do that? How do we attune ourselves to the moon's frequencies?
Well, there are practices you can do. Meditation is a big one. And they also say that working with sacred geometry can be helpful. Things like meditating on the flower of life symbol or using sound healing tools that work with specific frequencies.
So it's about aligning ourselves with these cosmic principles, these universal patterns.
Exactly. And by doing so, we can activate our potential, accelerate our evolution, and become more aligned with our true selves.
Okay, let's talk about the pineal gland again. They keep mentioning it, and it seems to be really important in all of this.
It is. It's often called the third eye, and it's associated with intuition, psychic abilities, spiritual awareness. And they say that the pineal gland is deeply connected to the moon's cycles.
So the moon affects our pineal gland.
Exactly. During key lunar phases like the full moon and this third quarter phase, the pineal gland becomes more active. And that can lead to more vivid dreams, stronger intuitive hits, deeper meditative experiences. You might even feel a pull to be more introspective, to spend more time in solitude, to connect with your inner world.
So it's like the moon is waking up our third eye.
Exactly. And they say that fluoride and other toxins can calcify the pineal gland, make it less receptive to these subtle energies. But lunar energy can help to decalcify it, to clear those blockages and restore its full function.
So the moon is like a detox for our pineal gland.
Exactly. And you might feel it too. You might feel a pressure in your forehead, a tingling sensation, maybe even see flashes of light. That's the energy moving, clearing out those blockages.
So what can we do to support our pineal gland during this time?
Well, meditation is always good, and they also recommend moon gazing, looking at the moon directly. And there are specific sound frequencies like 963 hertz that can help to activate the pineal gland.
And certain herbs too, right? Like blue lotus and mugwort.
Yes, those are good ones. It's about creating the right conditions for your pineal gland to thrive, to become a clear channel for those higher frequencies.
So it's about nurturing our spiritual connection, our intuition.
Exactly. And they say that March 22nd, when the third quarter moon peaks, is a really important moment. They're calling it the March 22nd lunar recalibration.
A recalibration, what does that mean?
It's like a cosmic reset button, a time for fine-tuning your energy, aligning yourself with the next cycle. It's the final checkpoint before the energy of the new solar cycle fully kicks in.
So it's like a cosmic tune-up.
Exactly. And they say that during this recalibration, there's a synchronization happening between Earth's electromagnetic field and the moon's gravitational waves. And that creates this balancing effect within our own energy systems.
So it's like the Earth and the moon are working together to help us realign.
Exactly. And you might experience different things during this time. You might feel a sense of completion, a sense of peace, maybe a deep need for stillness, or you might feel a surge of energy, a sense of renewal. It all depends on where you're at in your own journey.
So it's a time for listening to your inner guidance.
Absolutely. And they say that this is a time when old cycles come to an end. Things that haven't been resolved might suddenly make sense, and patterns you've been stuck in might finally break. It's like you're being guided to a new level.